Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Forgotten, released in the year 2017. The movie is set in the year 1997, and it begins with a short audio clip of someone being interrogated before the scene cuts to a young man named Jin-seok waking up in his family's car. Jin is with his mother, father, and older brother Yu-seok. It's revealed that the family is moving to a new home, and to celebrate, Yu suggests eating jjajangmyeon. When they arrive at their new home, Jin finds the home familiar despite having never seen it before. He feels like he's seen the house in the distant past, and recalls standing in front of it in a similar manner. It's then revealed that Jin's brother has always been top of his class since elementary school and graduated from an elite university. He was also talented in extracurricular activities that made him quite popular among girls. Yu also doesn't smoke or drink. Meanwhile, Jin was an average student and he frequently has mental breakdowns for which he has to take medication. Jin feels that Yu is the only thing in his mess of a life that he can be proud of. A year ago, Yu injured his leg in a car accident and now walks with a limp. Jin has to share a room with Yu because the previous house owner still hasn't emptied the small room that Yu was supposed to live in. While moving the stuff into the home, for some reason, an employee of the moving company finds it hard to believe that Yu is Jin's older brother. At dinner, Jin hears a loud noise from the small room upstairs, but his family denies hearing any such noise. Later that night, Jin again hears loud noises coming from the same room and he proceeds to investigate. However, before he could go in, Yu appears and dissuades his brother against it, taking him outside for a walk in the rain. The two brothers go to the top of the nearby hill. As they appreciate the view, Yu gets a call from his dad and he's forced to leave his brother at the hill, promising to return home as soon as possible. On his way back home, Yu is surrounded by a group of men that try to kidnap him. Yu fights back, and fortunately, Jin notices the tussle. Jin runs to his brother's rescue, but the goons manage to take Yu away. Scared, Jin rushes back home and alerts his parents before passing out from mental strain. Jin dreams of someone being roughly interrogated before waking up in cold sweat with his parents by his side. After collecting himself, he talks to the detectives and tells them the license plate number of the kidnapper's van. However, the detectives reveal that no such number exists. Several days pass by, but the family doesn't receive any ransom calls. Jin continues to hear the same noise coming from the small room and has the same dream of someone being interrogated. Miraculously, on the 19th day, Yu returns home safe and sound. However, Yu has no recollection of the last 19 days. The doctors believe that it's caused by dissociative amnesia, and the only thing the family can do is wait. That night, Jin sees Yu sneaking out of the house. The next day, Jin doesn't take his anti-anxiety medication after he accidentally drops his dose. At breakfast, Jin asks Yu about him sneaking out last night, but the latter denies going out. Jin also notices Yu momentarily walking without a limp when he goes out. That night, Jin falls asleep on his study table, and Yu gets ready to sneak out again. This time, Yu makes sure Jin is sleeping by almost poking him in the eye until the pencil's lead falls off. After Yu leaves, it's revealed that Jin is awake and he starts following his older brother in a taxi. Yu's taxi drops him at a shady market where he walks in with a lit cigarette in his mouth, in contrast to his character. Jin sees Yu talking to two men who he recognizes as the detectives from earlier in the movie. Jin soon gets caught and he is subdued by Yu. The next day, Jin wakes up at his study table. Seeing Yu on the bed, Jin freaks out and locks himself in the bathroom. When Yu asks Jin to explain why he locked himself in, Jin confronts him about last night. Yu feigns ignorance and suggests that Jin is dreaming again. However, Jin continues to insist that he knows what he's saying. When Yu stops responding to him, Jin carefully steps out of the bathroom with an aluminum pipe. However, Yu quickly overpowers him and tries to calm him down, saying none of the things Jin said from the pencil to the taxi to the men that chased him happened. Yu asks if Jin took his medication, and the latter finally calms down after he remembers he didn't take his pill the other day. Yu helps him take the pill before going out again. After Yu leaves, Jin returns to study and notices the broken pencil lead from last night on his study table. Jin becomes sure about Yu's deceit and informs his mother about it. She suggests telling her husband about it, but Jin suggests collecting more evidence. However, later that night, Jin overhears his mother secretly talking to Yu about him. Jin realizes that they're not his family at all, but people pretending to be his family. Soon, the woman feels Jin's presence outside and she rushes to inspect his room, but fortunately, Jin manages to get back to his bed in time. After she leaves, Jin sneaks out of the house through the window, hurting himself in the process. Outside, he runs into his father and both of them are joined by Jin's mother shortly after. When Jin's father stops Jin from leaving, Jin pushes him and runs away. Jin's mother quickly sends a goon after him, but he manages to get to the police station and shake the goon away. Jin explains the whole ordeal to the police, and they look up his name in the police database. They reveal that Jin was born in 1977 and he's 41 years old. However, when Jin insists that he's 21 years old, the skeptical officer asks him what year it is. Jin replies that it's 1997, but the officer reveals that it's actually 2017. A shocked Jin looks around and sees signs of modern life: a tablet, a smartphone, an LED flat-screen TV showing the meeting of South Korean President Moon Jae-in and United States President Donald Trump. Jin takes a look in the mirror and realizes that he is in fact 41 years old. Confused, Jin leaves and returns home to confront his family. There, he hears loud music coming from the small room, which has been turned into an artificial crime scene. Jin's family then appears, and the young man pretending to be his brother, Yu-seok, tells Jin that 20 years ago, a teenage girl and her mother were murdered in the same room they're standing in. When the police failed to find the killer for many years, the case went cold, so the family of the victims hired Yu to find the murderer. The killer was revealed to be Jin. In flashbacks, it is shown that Jin was abducted and tortured to confess to killing the girl and her mother, but he continued to maintain his innocence. Psychiatrist Park, aka the man playing Jin's fake father, suggested that Jin had repressed his memory because the event was too traumatic. The team of private investigators has the psychiatrist Park hypnotize Jin back to his last happy memory in 1997, hoping that if they could reenact the events of the murder, Jin might be able to recover his memories and tell them what happened. Everything was going as planned until the night Jin saw Yu being kidnapped. Yu was actually arrested for fraud, and he disappeared for 19 days because that's how long he was in jail before he got out on bail. It turns out that the strange noises Jin heard coming from the room were accidentally made by the rest of the team of private investigators. The movie then cuts back to the present. Yu is driving Jin to a place where he finally plans on making Jin pay for taking 2 innocent lives. Jin maintains his innocence and jumps out of the van. Yu follows him and ends up crashing his car. Jin is also struck by a stranger's car, resulting in him regaining his memories from 1997. In 1997, the opening scene from the film is shown, except this time, Jin is with his actual parents and older brother Yu-seok. They get into a car accident that kills his parents and mortally injures his brother. Jin desperately needs money for Yu-seok's surgery, but times are hard due to the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Desperate, Jin goes online seeking a job and is messaged by an anonymous person. The person promises to pay Jin if he kills someone's wife. Jin also must leave the 2 children in the house unharmed. Arriving at the house, Jin's conscience doesn't allow him to go through with it. He's about to leave when the mother sees him. The daughter also sees him, and the 2 start screaming. A panicked Jin ends up killing them both. The youngest child, a little boy, comes out, and Jin tells him to go back to bed. As he leaves, Jin discovers that this is actually the family of his brother's doctor. Jin meets with the anonymous man, who is indeed Yu-seok's doctor, demanding to know why the man would have his own family killed. The doctor explains that the financial crisis had bankrupted him, and he had taken out multiple insurance policies on his wife to prevent his children from becoming homeless. Since Jin not only killed his wife but also his daughter, the doctor says Yu-seok will die as well. A struggle ensues, and the doctor is accidentally pushed to his death. Back in the present, Jin wakes up in a hospital. The young man, who had pulled Jin into the van, has survived the crash and proceeds to poison Jin to death, but Jin informs him that his memory has returned. The young man then reveals that he was the little boy in the house 20 years ago, whom Jin spared after killing his mother and sister. After the deaths of his parents and sister, his relatives took all the money and left him to grow up in an orphanage. He begs Jin to tell him why he hadn't killed him too, and whether the murders were planned by his father. A distraught Jin lies by taking full responsibility, but the young man doesn't believe him. Jin, now aware that he had in fact committed the murders, poisons himself with the poisonous needle and dies. The young man also comes to terms with the murder of his family and jumps out of a hospital window, plunging to his death. The film flashes back to 1997. Jin's family is at the lake. Jin is stopped by a little boy who offers him a lollipop. After being politely declined, the boy runs to his family. It is shown that it was the doctor's family. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.